Peace, peace, peace. Shout out to everyone entering the building. This is Unapologetically QI. And today we are definitely going to be on the Capricorn Clark. I'm going to tell you who she is. I'm going to tell you the impact of her statement in this case. Now, I know right now she's on the stand. She's only been on there for about an hour and a half at best. And she's already sealed Diddy's fate. And I'm going to tell you how. And I already know what she's going to say because I've been following this story for a long, long time. I know what she's going to say, and I'm going to tell y'all what to look for her to say. So let's start here. Let's go ahead and let me introduce who she is. Now they say, and we don't know how true it is because there's no evidence of her being Lauren London's sister. But, to the industry and to Lauren and herself, they're known as sisters, right? Now, she could very well be her real blood sister, but I could not confirm or deny that. So I'm just going to say, allegedly Lauren London's sister. But Capricorn Clark, a native of California, is the quintessential girl. Before moving to New York City in 2000, she worked for Def Jam, Magic Johnson Enterprise, and BET Films. Once in New York, she worked at the Massimo brand advertising. She handled the Plaza Hotel, Crunch Fitness, and Hotwire. In 2001, Capricorn became the television production manager at Crossroads, a prominent production company where she managed projects for HBO, ABC, NBC, GSN, and USA. Now, the reason I want to stop here and I want to just emphasize for a minute, let's keep in mind that this lady has credentials. Look at this lady's resume. Capricorn Clark had a well-established, professional resume. She had worked with some of the largest companies: Def Jam, Magic Johnson Enterprise, BET, the Plaza Hotel, where she worked for Crunch Fitness. She handled the contracts for Plaza Hotel, Crunch Fitness, and Hotwire. She was also the television production manager at Crossroads, a prominent production company where she managed projects for HBO, ABC, NBC, GSN, and USA. So her credentials was there, right? The skills Capricorn had by this point attracted a headhunter who seen her resume online. The job was for Diddy. For nearly 5 years, she was the personal liaison to Sean Combs. Well, she handled all the day-to-day functioning of both Mr. Combs, various business endeavors, and active personal life. Over the years, she managed many of the Combs brands and events. She handled the Unforgivable Men's lunches in the America, France, and London, the premiere of HBO's Bad Boy of Comedy, CFDA event, and white parties. She also worked on the historic Vote or Die campaign with Mr. Combs to secure bold-faced support to encourage youth voting. So that tells you about London. London was no joke. She was also over his clothing line, Sean John. She handled a lot of the marketing for that. And let me just tell you, when she first started off for Diddy, she was a assistant. She was just a personal assistant who worked her way up. So she had high rank, and she did a lot for Diddy. She was also assigned to Sierra and R. Kelly, and she did a lot of marketing for Cassie and Lauren London. So her credentials were there. Well, as of close of like when they closed the court, you know, they stated that Capricorn Clark was going to be the witness. Now we should have known that because the we last heard of Kid Cudi taking a stand where he told that about his house, like how Diddy found out that him and Cassie were dating, and how Diddy kidnapped um, Capricorn Clark, even though she said she didn't want to go. And keep in mind, this is his employer. He works for Sean John. She works for his company. She works for his brand. So she's an employee. She's not a cook, and that doesn't matter either. But she's not a cook. She's not a bodyguard. She is responsible for his marketing. So he forced his marketing manager into a car to go to Kid Cudi's house. Now, y'all remember in court they said that they found a woman's DNA on a Molotov cocktail that was thrown into his car. Well, guess whose DNA that is? Capricorn Clark. And remember, Capricorn Clark also called Cassie to tell Kid Cudi that Diddy was at his home and that she didn't want to go. And so Cudi called Diddy, "Are you in my home?" And then the next thing you know, he rushed home. And when he got there, Diddy was gone, but the Christmas gifts had been opened, and they had scared his dog and put the dog in the bathroom. Okay, so now at this point, they hadn't thrown the cocktail into the car. They didn't do that until later. And basically, who called Cudi to let him know was the dog sitter. But the DNA on that cocktail was Capricorn Clark. So y'all see how Diddy works? Capricorn is known as Lauren London's sister. She was also good friends with Cassie. She worked with Cassie in terms of marketing and branding, and she also worked with Kid Cudi. And they were pretty cool. They were good friends, right? So Lauren London, Cassie, Capricorn Clark, and Kid Cudi. And so he forced their friend, someone that works for them, not only works for him, but also works and handles things for them, into a car to go and basically stalk and harass them. And if he had been there, who knows what. But Capricorn also told about like what he did in terms of kicking her in the back all the way to the road once he found her. He tried to force Capricorn not to tell Cudi that it was him, but she had already did it, right? And that's just rough. That's just rough. But today she's in court. She's witness number 3. And everything that everything that Cudi basically stated, she's lining it up. And not only is she lining it up and coming to be, like a secondhand witness, the fire department and the police department of Los Angeles is also going to take the stand today. So, like, for those of y'all who said Diddy may walk, are y'all still convinced of that? Okay, now let me also tell you what's going to come out and what we hope to come out, what to look for, right? Because we know about the Kid Cudi situation. Now, probably after lunch, because I don't know if it was this weekend that Suge Knight did an interview. Remember, Cassie talked about when Diddy was trying to go after Suge Knight. Uh, Suge Knight and Diddy basically they had a feud. That was the East Coast West Coast war, right? Tupac and Biggie, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So Suge Knight basically said that Capricorn Clark was in a different country. I think it was Stockbridge or Stockholm or somewhere like that. And somebody witnessed her being drugged and a bunch of men running through her, right? They ran through her, right? Somebody said they in there, banging his assistants. They ran through her over there. Now, once again, I want y'all to think about the fact that this is not the housekeeper. This is not the cook. This is not his girlfriend. This is his marketing manager. His marketing manager that works for his enterprise. All the enterprises. She handles everything. I mean, for each one, all of them. So, and you remember she came out with that angry little, like message about women not being protected, blah, blah, blah. And she went into hiding. She's angry. And I already knew when she took the stand that she was going to let it go. She's beyond. Basically, what Suge said was like after that incident, I think she left Diddy, and it was either Arista, one of those record companies had to gave her a settlement to keep Diddy out of trouble. But I mean, I haven't heard anything, and I even tried to look up her resume to see if she was working somewhere else. None of that, because also like when Diddy was a very influential person. So basically, he had hands in everything. Like he could, basically get you blacklisted or blackballed from the industry. So we don't know if she had to face that. We don't know like what her life has been. All I know is that she was very, very angry. Now, so far in as she has taken the stage, taken a stand, I said the stage, my bad. But taking a stand, she has name dropped like D-Roc. And I'm sure she's going to name drop a lot of other people like Lauren London, her sister. How could she not? Keep in mind that she managed these white party events. So she was at a lot. And if you look at a lot of the pictures from the parties, the freak offs, Capricorn Clark was there. Also, I'm sure she's going to name drop KK, which is Christina. Give me one sec. Christina KK. Christina, I cannot think. That's her the mind break. Like, and I can't believe it as much as I've been looking up her. But her name is KK, Christina. Now, we think Capricorn is definitely going to blow it off the stands today. So y'all want to stay aware. She's going to name drop a lot of people, right? But the person that's actually, it's like basically he already in the grave. But the person that's actually going to put him in the grave is Christina Coram. My bad, I thought about it. Christina Coram, KK. Now I have a live set up later. And I'm gonna go over a lot of the things that they stated in the case. But basically, they've already proven the Rico. They've already proven the racketeering. It's like a done deal. And it would be very interesting to see, and I highly doubt it, based on what I've seen the defense do so far, for them to be able to back out, cover, or make this look good, right? There's no way, because they tried to do that with Kid Cudi by coming and say, "Do you think Cassie set you up?" Blah blah blah. Okay, and he said yes. Well, it no wonder the prosecution didn't go too hard on that, because they already knew Capricorn was coming right behind it. And she's already ripping it out the water, and she's only been on the stand for like an hour and a half, going up to 2 hours. And I imagine she may be on the stand for the entire day. But today is very well. They're saying they're going to bring in the fire people of LA and the police officers. So today is definitely going to be explosive. These lives are going to be hitting hard. Wait till these people get out of court. Those reporters that are in court get out of court. It's going to be going up today on Diddy. And so y'all stay tuned. I already got some live set up. And as the story develops, I will tell you more. But look out for KK's name, Christina Coram. She already name dropped D-Roc. Now, let me tell you who D-Roc is. D-Roc was best friends with Biggie Smalls, right? They grew up together in the same neighborhood, everything. All right. So D-Roc went to jail or something. And then when he got out, Diddy promised him a job, like security, right? Well, it is alleged that D-Roc helped set up Biggie in LA. It's alleged that a lot of people knew that, Diddy, they were coming after Diddy. And then it's also alleged that people were coming after Puffy and anybody with Bad Boys, because y'all know they had that East Coast, West Coast war. This was after Tupac. They were angry. So I'm just saying, let's see how far this rabbit hole goes. Let's see if they bring up Suge Knight. I just think that this is just one part of the Diddy case. And I think that they're using this case to lead to other cases, like the Biggie Smalls case, the Tupac case. If you don't think that the investigators have looked into all that, because keep in mind, Keefy D, they're holding him down right now. Big U of the Crips. Now, keep in mind that, like Diddy now lives in California. And the only way you can really make it in California is you gotta be good with the people, right? You gotta be good with the people. You gotta be good with big homies. So, they got Big U right now. And then let's go from Big U. We already know Big U connects to Brick Baby, and Brick Baby connects to Lil Durk, Quando Rondo, that King Von situation. So all roads are leading back to Diddy. So let's just watch and see things unfold and see how far the road goes back to Diddy. But it seems like the prosecution is not alone. It seems like the federal feds of New York is just the first step. But it seems like this pipe is going to continue to roll. And either way it goes, Diddy's done. Diddy's done. Plus, the Diageo liquor company that he made mad. All right, so I looked up a little information on them, right? That's a board. And they're most of them are British. But if you look up some of the owners of that company, they've owned Burger King. They own every liquor brand that you can even think of. Johnny Apple, Johnny Walker, any liquor brand that you can name, they pretty much own it. Tequila, they own it. They own it. And what I mean own it, it's like board of directors, they have shares in it. You know how they say Alex, the American legal exchange or whatever. Well, this must be what that is. because these people own every corporation almost in America, right? So how are you going to fight with that? And you can't really base it on racism, when you've been able to you were able to touch the soil. Not many of us have gotten the opportunity to work for them. And let me tell you something else too. Diddy's job, one of the reasons that Diddy and some of these people got opportunities in the hip hop New York scenes, y'all got to look at the history of New York. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of that later as well. Y'all got to look at Diddy was put in place for a reason, and not only him, but he chose to do it, right? For the fame, fortune. The problem is his head got big, but his job was just to keep us down. So why so many people are trying to be protective over him, acting like he's a legacy, when you really start looking at what he was put in place and what he did to us and what he was willing to do to us as, a race, you're going to stop feeling that way. Just look at all the millionaires. When you say all the millionaires, everybody's always calling out Oprah, but even look at Jay-Z. They're really not giving back to the community. They're really not building anything up. They give you the illusion of inclusion, illusion that they are. But look at the music industry in which we once controlled, but because of them, we no longer control it, right? We no longer control it. And it turned to nothing but violence. Violence, degrading, degradation of women, Black women, rugs. Look at what Diddy was promoting. Look at what those parties was promoting. And notice at those parties, he always had up a bottle of Ciroc, right? Because he was promoting the music. That's why they got violence in the music. That's why they promote the rugs through the music, the drugs. That's why they promoting the sex, the sex through the music. That's why they're promoting his job. And he is the gatekeeper of the hip hop industry. Him and Jay-Z, along with some others, are the keepers of the hip hop industry. And notice we don't even get D.O. soul no more. Like, we don't even get love songs no more. Like, no more. They outed conscious music, anything. The only thing we get is drill rap, trap, and so on. But just pay attention. And like I said, y'all, like, look out for those names that are going to be called, because a lot more names are going to be called. And basically, she already sealed the deal. She came out here and told she basically confirmed Kid Cudi's story. And she also said, she got kidnapped. She confirmed. So we're looking at robbery with employees. We're looking at trespassing. We're looking at arson. We're looking at several counts of kidnapping. We're looking at drugs. We're looking at all kinds of stuff under the Diddy enterprise. So y'all, this story goes deep. And that's why I sort of waited to the day, because before it was like people were debating, like, he's going to walk, this done did, and then you look at the defense. Watch, the defense is not as strong as you think. It would be very interesting to see. And I guarantee you, let me tell you what's going to happen. Brian Steele right now is looking up and thinking of any technicality. Because the only thing that's why Brian still is there, because Brian throws technicalities. If this wasn't done right, if this paperwork wasn't appropriate, like he already tried to call for a mistrial Thursday. So Brian's looking for ways to call for a mistrial, like in the YSL trial. So that's Diddy's only hope. But the judge, the New York system, those feds have a 98% conviction rate, as well as you're messing with the baddest of the baddest. And he basically told Brian Steele, he said, you need to go back down there to Georgia with that corrupt stuff. So Brian Steele's gonna have to walk a little light. Yeah. Because one thing, I don't know, like if Brian is used to handling state federal cases. I don't know how many federal cases he has handled. I mean, but these are the big time feds. So Diddy's not going anywhere. And then they got the case at the last minute. The other attorneys, they quit. And I don't blame them, because I was like, Brian Steele, with the reputation that he has, I just couldn't understand him taking this case. And then he didn't really, it's not his case. He's just a co-counsel, because he doesn't have a license in New York. So he really can't call any major short shots. They can let him go up there and, and interrogate a witness. I mean, or whatever. But in terms of who actually, Mark Agnafilo, his name is crazy. Mark Agnafino is basically over the case, and then it's Teeny Garriga. Those are the two higher ups of the case. So basically, he's just the co-counsel, and I think they have a couple of other co-counsels on. And his job is because he's good at finding technicalities, but he's also not like, he used to be an attorney. He was a part of the bar in New York, but it's been a long time. It's been a long time. You got to look at laws has changed and all of that. So, I mean, from this point on, this case is going to be explosive. Here comes the real names. Every time they drop a name, keep in mind they're going to either have to take the stand, especially if they were implicated in something, right? Because a lot of these people are also giving effort or plea deals to take the stand, because their target is the head of the organization. Now, somewhere down the road, some other people might catch some stuff, like some of these celebrities, these bigger celebrities. Now they might have to worry about something, but most of the people right now, for these 8 weeks that's coming to the stage, they've been offered something. They've been let off of something, because they all had their hand in it, and they know it. That's why it's an enterprise, because these were people that were hired to work for, this company, and ended up doing it. And I also heard there may be some family members as well. So y'all, let's get on back to Diddy Court Watch. Diddy Watch. Diddy Butt Watch. But thank y'all for coming in and supporting me. Let me take a moment to speak to everybody in the chat. Right. Yeah. Shout out to Black and Brown, Missing Voices. Yeah, I remember you too. Thank you. Thank you for still supporting me. Nope, it's not wrong. You have to just pay attention. Go to the go to the watch what's happening today. She's collaborating a Kid Cudi story. She's also collaborating some things. She's gonna end up talking about some things that happened to her. She's been, and she had, like I said, I brought up the Suge Knight, brought up some stuff. She brought up D-Roc's name, who D-Roc is, and his point. So basically, just go pay attention, and you're gonna find out that I'm accurate, because I've done a lot of research and things. But it's like we heard the stories, right? But now it's being brought to the stand. So y'all smash that like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, it is unapologetically QI, and I am now exiting the building. Peace.